Hey, I want to clarify one thing. I mentioned yesterday that everybody was here from the pitcher standpoint. Alex Wells is still going through. He should be done now with the intake because he got a day later because of travel restrictions coming from Australia. So I misspoke there yesterday, Rock.
All right, we can go into questions, and Rock, you can lead us off.
Brandon, just out of curiosity, with Valdez, he was starting in winter ball, obviously, in the Caribbean World Series, and did really well. Is there any thought at all to looking at him as a starter? Or is he just too valuable in the bullpen because of the length he provides and the different roles and the rubber arm, basically?
Yeah, we're going to stretch him out. So he's going to pitch multiple innings this spring. I think that he's a candidate to do a number of different things just because he's got the ability to start. He pitched the ninth inning for us there at the end of the year. He can go long out of the bullpen as well. So we're gonna build him up innings wise and then kind of see where we are toward the end of camp.
John Mioli, you can go ahead.
To kind of dovetail off that, is there anyone else who was in a more bullpen exclusive role last year who's getting stretched out to be able to be in a similar position later in spring?
Looking at my board, just give me a second, please. I don't see it from a starting standpoint, but I think you're going to see some of our guys throw more innings in spring than normal. I would like to build all of them up to be multiple inning guys. So I'd like to see them all at least become 1+, some guys 2+, maybe even 3 out of the pen starting the year.
Steve Molesky, you can go ahead.
Brandon, how important was it last year for your team to deal with all the craziness of COVID? And you remarked several times how well the Orioles handled that. And here again, you're back in the same boat, dealing with a lot of the same things. I mean, what did it mean to your team to handle it well? And now you're asking them to do it again.
Yeah, I told the pitchers and catchers the other day how proud I was of how we handled last summer. Our guys dealt with a ton of adversity. There was very little, none of us had any experience going through something like that, and the way that we followed protocols, the way that we stuck together, did the right things on and off the field. I was really proud of it, how they handled that. And this year is just more of the same. We talked about that. We talked about how we're going to go in with the same mindset of understanding what the protocols are, following those, doing what's right for not only our club, but for everybody else. But, our organization from the top down has been incredibly supportive. Our players understand that we care about their health and safety first. And our guys recognized that and showed that last summer. And I expect more of the same this year.
Rich, you can go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, putting aside all the jokes and cracks about the 0.0 playoff predictions, but
I thought you were going to say something about the intake trailer.
No, that was we did that one yesterday. Realistically, what are your goals for this year? I mean, it's in your third year.
I think we're just want to stay competitive and want to get better every single day. I'm still in the mindset of really improving as a ball club, improving as an organization, continuing to get our guys experience at the major league level. I think there's no better experience than playing in the American League East. You're only going to get better by playing the competition that we play, and we played the last 2 years. You've seen a lot of our guys improve, and we're just going to continue on with that mindset. I think we surprised some people last year, being in it till the last series of the year. Was really happy and proud of how hard our guys played. And I want to continue with that same energy level. I want to continue to keep playing the game hard. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of improvements to make. We have a lot of guys that don't have a ton of experience, and the bottom line is just to get these guys better, continue to get major league experience at the highest level, and compete. And that's our mindset going forward.
But do you feel any pressure to get the 1-loss record up?
No. No, I'm not concerned about, I'm really process based. I'm not concerned about, I'm trying to win one game at a time, to be honest with you. That's an old cliche, but that is true. And that I just want to see improvement from our players, and that'll equal more wins.
Rock, you're up again.
Right. With someone like Bruce Zimmermann, he's competing for a spot in the rotation, which might be a little harder now with the veterans. But to you, would it be beneficial if he doesn't make the rotation for him to shift to the bullpen and still continue his education there and be a guy that could give you length out of the pen? The Orioles used to do that, obviously, way back in the day with the Flanagans and McGregors and Dennis Martinez's. Or is it more beneficial for someone like him as a young starter to be pitching every 5 days or whatever in AAA until something opens up if he doesn't make the club in the rotation?
Yeah, I think we're going to see how he throws in camp. I think that we see him as a potential starter. He's coming in to win a starter or at least a bulk inning guy role, and then we'll go from there. But it's tough to evaluate last season just because he had such a short sprint in the big leagues and didn't have a full AAA year. He hasn't had a full AAA year, so it's learning at the major league level. We'll decide at the end if we feel like he's ready to be a starter in the big leagues. But we have high hopes for him. Like his stuff, saw his bullpen today. It's really, really impressive. He's got multiple pitches with a really nice arm. So I think that we have, like I said, we have high hopes for him, and we're going to make that decision. If he's on the club, he's going to pitch bulk innings. So I mean, we're going to make sure that he gets experience and that he stays stretched out.
John Miola, you're up again.
Brandon, to kind of follow on that, you mentioned watching Bruce throw his bullpen and kind of judging off that. You've seen him pitch, up close and personal before, though. For somebody who you haven't or don't have that experience with, what are the things that you look at this point in camp to kind of familiarize yourself and evaluate and kind of project what you might think they are for this team?
I think you go on past experience, look at what they've done in the past. If it's a veteran guy, track record matters, where he is in his career, how he pitched the last couple of years, et cetera. I think that you're looking to, it's tough to, like I've talked about for this is third year now. It's tough to evaluate on spring training just because some guys have great springs, then have bad years. Some guys have really bad springs that have good years. So that's always challenging. But yeah, I mean, I like to go on track record and with a veteran player and talk to him and feel like if there's improvements that he's made possibly in the last year or so. With the young guys, I think it's more of are they ready or not, and if they're ready to pitch at this level. So those are conversations that we have throughout camp. But if somebody goes out and gives up 7 earned runs in the first inning in their first start, it doesn't mean anything. We're just going to continue to evaluate them throughout the course of spring and go off what they've done in the past.
Steve Molesky, you're up.
We've been asking you, Brandon, a lot about the starter innings, how you're going to cover all that, and is some of that dovetailing with what you said earlier in this conversation today about the bullpen guys is how you might do it. Is that what you see? All your guys, you want to try to push a little bit so each guy can give you a little more, whether it's, as you said, 1+ or 2. Is that like a team-wide thing you're hoping to gain?
Well, we're doing that individually. I mean, there's some guys I'm going to push to 3, just because I don't think we have any idea what the season's going to look like on the mound. And with the interrupt of the year last year, the 6-month season this year, I think innings are going to be really, guys be able to throw multiple innings is going to be really valuable. So, whether we get creative with our rotation or have a lot of long guys in there, we got 6 weeks to figure that out. We're going to do what's best for the club, do what's best for the player. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to have as many guys that can throw multiple innings as possible to ease the burden on the other guys.
Jerry Coleman, you're up.
Hey, Brandon, pardon if you answered this earlier. As far as the layout down there in Sarasota, since we can't be there, how are things configured, or have they been reconfigured since you guys were there last time around when you came back for the second time, obviously with COVID in play and now in play again? Have things been altered in any fashion?
Well, it's just a little different. There's not any fans on our backfields during our workout. We have an intake trailer in the parking lot that you go through every morning. Our clubhouse, we're spread out in our clubhouse, so players are in three or four different clubhouses, rooms. Our coaches are spread out in different rooms also. So we're following all the protocols there, and then you see everybody wearing a mask inside. There's certain rules you can have where you can't have so many people in the weight room, for example. So you have to stagger your schedule a lot. Try and do as many small group things as possible and try to stay distanced. But besides that, I mean, we're having our normal pitchers catchers work day. Our groups are a little bit smaller. There's no fans or media here, so we're kind of by ourselves back there. But it does look fairly similar.